My name is Cunningham, and I'm a professor of Cognition and Development at the University of California at Berkeley. I'm a former classroom teacher, preschool, first, second, kindergarten, and I study reading development and reading acquisition. One of the many myths is that once children can read themselves, that is, even as early as second or third grade, both parents and teachers feel that you don't need to continue to read out loud to them. And I tell you, that's a myth because there's so many benefits that can be gained from having children learn and hear stories from parents. So I encourage parents to read to their children every night as often as they can, even up till age 14 if their children will let them. And the reason for that is multifaceted. It is basically because if you can read out loud to your child, you're going to be reading text typically that is exposing them to language, complex words, academic terms that are found only in text, not in oral conversation, even among college-educated individuals. And so by reading 2 years ahead of your child, you're beginning to expose them to these rare and unique words, phrases, concepts, and ideas that are found in print. And so when they come upon them as an independent reader, they're not nonsense words. They're words that are already in their lexicon. They're words that they're familiar with the meaning of, the phrases, the concepts they've been accustomed to hearing, and that promotes further reading comprehension. Well, oftentimes, for parents, I try to recommend to them that they should relax about the content that the child is reading. Because if a child chooses to pick up a book and they choose to engage in that activity over other activities, we're ahead already because they're going to start to be exposed to text in ways that they wouldn't have normally. However, what we find is that many children will gravitate towards interest. They'll gravitate towards magazines, they'll gravitate towards comic books, they'll gravitate towards other genre that maybe the parent doesn't feel is educational. But that's a problem because if you analyze the vocabulary, for example, that are found in comic books, we see that there are very many rare and unique words, and that the level of difficulty in some comic books is quite high and quite challenging. So for my son, who's now 19 years old, but all during that time when he was choosing to read comic books, I felt comforted by that because I knew that he was in the game. He was reading books. He was choosing to do it. And what I've seen time and time again is that leads to reading other books. And so comic books are oftentimes an entry point into the types of books that many parents hope and wish their children would be reading.